For the accountability piece for this lesson, what I like to do with the students is a couple different things. One of them is that I hold them accountable by them needing those 15 questions in their notebook. So I give them possibly a quiz grade. I also like to give notebook quizzes on their notebooks. So that's the piece that I really like to hold them accountable for. Something I tried today with this lesson that I've never done before also is that I've asked the students what did they see over and over again. For example, we were doing it with solving quadratics with just a simple square root today. So I had a problem like x squared equals 16. The answer ended up to be plus and minus, a positive and a negative 4. Some students responded by, wow, I saw so many students miss the positive and negative, and that generated some discussions in class. So I can hold them accountable by saying, write down on a ticket to leave, an exit ticket, what are some common errors you saw again and again on yourself when you went through all the problems, or on others when they came to you and they were doing the problem. So that's the accountability piece I thought was pretty powerful.
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right,
Thanks
now
for
let's
sharing.
move to your lesson or your idea, Rob, and your focus is on technology.
Yeah, so we've gone to a one-to-one initiative with iPads, and in our high school, we're about somewhere between a third and two-thirds of the way through. I think actually two-thirds of the way through issuing iPads to students, and all of our staff has iPads, so a lot of the technology we use are iOS type of technologies using the iPad. And this last week, though, the thing I've been really stoked about is these collaborative workspaces that I've been checking out. And the first of those was an app called SyncSpace, which allows you to collaboratively work in a synchronous or asynchronous environment in an infinitely zoomable location. So basically, if you run out of space, you can zoom in further and get more space to write between the lines, if you want to think of it that way. And you can post these workspaces up for students to collaborate on things, and they can insert pictures, they can type on it, they can draw on it. I used it as a Foursquare vocabulary thing, so the students I gave them a vocabulary term, and they had to go out and find in their groups what the definition of the term is, how does that term work, the mathematical thing here, and then an example of that term, and then something that would be a counter example of that term. And then I had the groups go in, I assigned each of the groups one of the 4 places to place their work. So I had a couple different groups go in and place an example of the term, and a couple go in and place a counter example of the term. I only had one group to do the definition because there's only so many times you want to write that. But they were all able to collaborate on this together. It was a nice jigsawing type of thing. You could also use it as a way maybe at the beginning of going over homework, having somebody go through and work out number 15 and somebody else work out number 22 and somebody else work out number 33, and then all the students have access to all that work. And I think that'd be a pretty powerful way to go through the homework and time efficient as well. The other one that I was using that's very similar to that, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly. I think it's BaiaBoard, or this BAI board. And this one is really nice. It's a similar type of app, but it's free, unlike SyncSpace, which is a paid app. So this one's free, and I really like that. And the other part of it that I really liked about it was inviting students to participate in this space was great, because the other space you had to send out a link of some sort for people to contribute to it. So whether it's email or iChat or a QR code or something, you had to give them a link. And this BaiaBoard one actually has the ability to find shared workspaces on your network. So if you are on the same network or in the same classroom, it's going to come up and see that shared workspace. So the student just logs in and they see that there, and they can join it, and you can set a password or something so that you don't have people from outside the classroom joining your discussion.
So this, when you say this shared space, Rob, is that just like a piece of paper they're writing on and they're all writing in different locations?
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's kind of a virtual whiteboard, if you want to think about it that way. And you can have it just be a blank canvas, or you can draw on it ahead of time or write on it ahead of time with questions or diagrams, or you can even insert a picture, or maybe you could go in and actually insert a PDF file. And that was one of the things I know the people at BioBoard had really promoted, was the idea of taking some pre-made lesson worksheet type thing and inserting it, the PDF, and having students being able to work on it. And they don't even have to just work on it during class. You could set it up for sometime during the night they have to go and contribute to it. Now, the drawback thing I'm already thinking of, and I've run into this a bit, is the accountability with students, with their quality of work, because it is anonymous as far as what I can see, as far as what they put on there. Now, you can opt to have them write their name on there, but if a student is putting something inappropriate, or, I mean, that never happens, right? But if somebody's doing something that is less than ideal, they can kind of do that anonymously, and that's a real drawback. I would like to see something on there similar to what Google does with being able to see what different users are contributing to the document. But there are hang-ups with Google with the iPads, at least. I hope they play together nicely at some point, but right now they don't. So this really seems to be a nice collaborative tool that you can use as a whole class. You can run it across different classes. You could do it as a whole school type thing with people contributing photos, make a collage with it. I think that the possibilities are endless with this as a collaborative tool.
So both of these are apps. BioBoard and SyncSpace are apps you could get like at the App Store?
Correct. You can also view them online in your web browser. So you could, if you have a projector in your room, you could go to the web link and actually project this up from your web browser and see the different student contributions. For instance, doing homework problems at the beginning of class, as you're walking around and checking homework and answering questions, doing attendance and things, the different students or the different groups putting homework problems up for everyone else, they can see them all being displayed on the board in addition to their iPads, which works out well if not every student has an iPad maybe. So
I could see this being very powerful in like step problems. Like if you're doing an equation with a bunch of steps, you would say, okay, student first alphabetically has to contribute the first step and then the next step. And does that sound like an appropriate use?
Absolutely, I think, and that would be kind of jigsawing a math problem.
Okay.
We think of jigsawing oftentimes with reading activities, but with a math problem that would work out just fine. You could do maybe the different transformations on a graph. I want you to do the translation. I want you to do the compression or stretch. I want you could assign those different things to it. That actually leads me to the next thing I'm going to talk about in the next one. I want to talk about maybe using Vine in the classroom, thinking about showing steps. So just a push for our next installment.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I hope you found this podcast worthwhile. Like I said, Rob and I have some creative ideas. We like to try to lead our building in some of these initiatives. And I think we got decent ideas that we found successful. So I hope you find them successful also. And next time we'll hopefully create another podcast and we'll have some other ideas. If you ever want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter name is CZAP, P as in pumpkin, 4444. Feel free to do that.
And my Twitter is also at RSyver, so that's RSYVER at math, so RSyver math on Twitter. You can follow me there, or if you want to follow my Facebook professional account, it's Severson's Math page, SYVERSON. I'm mostly putting things up for students there, but you're free to join us if you like.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope this was worthwhile for you, and maybe we'll see you again.
Bye-bye.